JoshCast, dun 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 dun. No, it's the podcast that maybe dun 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 dun. Oh, one or two people listen to dun 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 dun. No, but if I do a Facebook boosted post, dun 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 dun. Oh, maybe 3 or 4 people will listen to it. Dun 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 dun. Oh, and Facebook will tell me that the engagement dun 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 is in the thousands dun 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 dun. And then I can sit there and wonder, what does engagement mean? Dun 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 dun. Podcast dun 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 dun. It must mean dun 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 that people dun 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 might notice it dun 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 when they're looking at their Facebook feed dun 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 when they're sitting on the toilet dun 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 dun. JoshCast dun 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 dun. All right, so we are in episode 43 of the JoshCast. When I say we, I mean me, probably. And I think where I'm at is okay. This is what I'm keep feeling that if I can truly love myself as a human being, truly love myself, and get over the self-loathing that I've got caught up in over the past several years. If I can truly love myself, then a relationship with a real live woman will take care of itself. That's what I firmly believe. Now, I've only been with one woman in the course of 32 years. So my belief seems to be at odds with an insurmountable amount of evidence to the contrary. But that is what I believe. I guess I think that if I really truly love myself, that I will become more attractive in the eyes of other people. That will increase my attractiveness. There will be that, he really accepts himself for who he is, and that is attractive. And then I won't have to make any effort. That's really what I'm looking for. Just not to make any effort, and for the right person to make the first move, and I immediately know they're the right person because we have this Romeo and Juliet. Romeo and Julia, was there subtext with that, perhaps? But we have this instant connection, and everything works out, and we're together forever, and we never fight, and there's no conflict, and it's a perfect relationship, and we just all both achieve enlightenment and become one with the cosmos, and there's no yelling at the dinner table. That's really what I'm hoping my romance will be. But I get the feeling, based on conversations that I've had with other with real people, that this is a dream and a fantasy, and not, in fact, reality. And now what I'm wondering is if the reality of a relationship is that the best relationships in the world are relationships that are not so bad. I think maybe that's it. Best equals not that bad. That's the best, I think, in any situation. The best I have to hope for, not that bad. How is it? Not that bad. And that if I can get to not that bad in all areas, then I'll be. That's the best. So best equals not that bad. That's what I have to get. That's what I have to tell myself. Best equals not that bad. And if that's the case, then now, what is it? I guess another way of looking at it is I have to lower my expectations. Is that what people would say, or lower my standards? Although I feel like as soon as I say lower my standards, now I'm afraid I'm offending whoever I'm with, because that's not what they want. It's like, how did you meet? How did you meet Mommy? Well, I lowered my standards, and we hit it off. It was great, and I accepted the fact that I was going to be miserable, and we got married, and here you are, little Junior, and maybe one day you too can become president. Transition. Transition. Reading about the replace part of the repeal and replace Obamacare plan that the Republicans are talking about. One thing they were talking about is apparently one of the problems with Obamacare is that it forces insurance coverage to be comprehensive, and the idea now is that they're going to get rid of that requirement so that health insurance no longer has to be comprehensive. Now, I don't know about you, but I love comprehensive when it applies to not dying. I'm big on that. When it comes to life, I want a policy that gets everything, that covers all life, living, totally comprehensive. I don't know what non-comprehensive means. It sounds very scary. It sounds like I go to the doctor and they say, well, according to your policy, we cover anything that happens on your right hand. What's going on with you? I've been shot in the face. Ooh. Sorry, you don't have a comprehensive policy. Next time, get shot in the hand. That's my concern there. Transition. New definition of loneliness. Loneliness is not having someone to say, I don't think that's malignant. Transition. Here's what depresses me. James Bond movies. Why? Because how can the ending be happy? He ends up with the woman, but in the very next movie, he's with a new woman. He's single again. So it doesn't feel like a happy ending. It feels like they're just cutting off the ending right before the relationship goes bad. I feel like the movie goes for 5 more minutes. It's, oh, James. And then James Bond says, I can't do this. I can't. This is too fast. This is moving too fast. I can't do this. I've got too much baggage. I'm sorry. I can't. Oh God, I'm crying now. Oh God, I'm sorry. I don't mean to be crying. James, it's all right. James, no, it's not all right. I'm suffering. Do you know how many times I've been killed by weird people with throwing hat things? Do you understand how stressful that is? Oh God. I don't want you to see me like this. I'm running out the window. Don't, James, it's James. He jumped out the window. James, he jumped out the window. But he knows parkour, so he's not dead. Well, I am falling in love with him, but he seems like a lot of trouble. Maybe we should let this go. I'm going to let him go. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to follow James. I'm a capable young woman. I have my whole life ahead of me. That man has problems. It was fun, but yeah, I think we might just let this one go. And I am going to shower now. Transition. What to end on? How to bring this around? How to bring this to a positive summation? What to make of it? I feel so behind, and I haven't been watching anything. I haven't watched. I think I've watched the first 10 minutes of the first episode of Game of Thrones, and that's all I've seen of it. And then I think I saw one episode where the kids were tied up somewhere, and they were talking about being tied up, and it was trouble. And that's all I know about Game of Thrones. And I for some reason I have trouble with fantasy. I like science fiction. I don't like fantasy. I think it's because with fantasy, it just always feels to me like when magic's involved, like why doesn't somebody just come up with a magic spell that just solves everything in one spell? Like with Harry Potter. Like they kept writing spells. Why not just a spell that's like, and now I summon the death of all the bad guys and I bring my parents back. Boom, ish, go. And that's just the end. It always seemed like there was this weird limit. The magic spell was only as powerful, but could never be more powerful than the plot point. That's kind of what I've always felt with magic. You could make the argument in a lot of science fiction that it's the same thing. I'm not sure, but yeah, that's my feeling. I never quite got on board with that. I don't know much about Game of Thrones. I'm not. I should be interested in Game of Thrones. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen. I've been falling back on all the Netflix shows. I don't know. I feel like I'm overwhelmed with all these TV shows that I don't know about, and then people are talking. Did you see that? Did you see that? Are you keeping up with Game of Thrones? No. Here's my fear. I think pretty soon there's going to be so much good television that everyone on Earth is going to watch one show. And like the best case scenario is that, like your show's a hit if one person is watching it. That's how much TV there's going to be. And we're going to walk around the office all day going, hey, did you see Game of Thrones? No. Did you see Daredevil? No. Did you see that? And everyone's going to go, I don't have time. I was watching Game of Thrones. And, well, I was watching Daredevil. Well, you should watch Daredevil. Well, you should watch Game of Thrones. But then there'll be another show. And inevitably, whatever show I'm supposed to watch to be able to relate to the other human being, I don't watch that one. I end up watching another one. And my entire life will just be a succession of really great shows that only I know about or care about. And I'll die alone. I think that's where we're headed, America. This is the end of the podcast, the end of the podcast, and the children sing and the children play. This is the end of the podcast.